Okay, so today we're going to be looking at how to calculate the rate of change. So when looking at a graph, we're trying to figure out how the graph is changing. So we're looking at the rise of the graph over the run. You need to memorize this. Another name for this is slope. Slope is equal to rise over run. We're going to go through some examples and I'm going to explain what that means. Okay. So for example, if this is my graph, we've been drawing lines on our graph. Look here, right? You would pick 2 points, any 2 points on the line. So let's say we pick this point and this point, and you're going to count. What does it rise by? 1, 2, 3. It rises by 3 over how many?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Looks like it's 4. It's not really accurate. Let's just round it to 4 for this one. That's it. That's the rate of change. The rise is the change in the dependent variable. Think about if you're rising, going up or down. And the run is the change in your independent variable. You go across, horizontal. That's all you need to know for this, okay? We're trying to figure out what the rate of change is. How does this ramp, so look here, here's the ramp. Think of this like a line on your graph. Okay, so yes, this is rising to the right. So it's going to have a positive slope. We have to figure out what is the rate of change. And remember, the rate of change is measured by the rise. How does the line rise? So you're trying to figure out the distance of the vertical, the dependent variable, and the run over run. So all you're going to do for this one is you're going to measure with a ruler. We do not measure the slope. We don't measure the diagonal. We're measuring the rise and the run. So take your ruler, and who can tell me approximately how many centimeters is it from here to here? What is the vertical rise? I want you to measure it right now. Okay, some of you said you got 1.5, some of you got 1.6. I'll accept either answer. Let's round it to 1.6 is the rise. Now measure the run from here to here. What is the run?
7.
Okay, so it's approximately 6.5 centimeters. So the rise over run, look here, we're not done. It's 1.5 over 6.5. Well, let's divide that. 1.6 divided by 6.5. Remember how you turn a fraction into a decimal. What's 1.6 divided by 6.5? What do you got? 0.246. So that is the rate of change. That's the answer for the first ramp. For that ramp, it has a rate of change of 0.246. 1.5 over 6.7. Let's round it to that, which is 0.223. I want you to tell me which rate of change was the greatest. We're going to order them from greatest to least. Which number is the largest? Yes. B. Then what? 0.246 or 0.226? 23. 2 is smaller than 4. Sorry, we're going from greatest. You're right. A. And then C. So this was the greatest. And this was the smallest. If you look at the pictures, this is very important. If you look at the 3 pictures, which ramp seems like it's the steepest? You need to understand this word. Steepest. Think of like if you're skiing. If you would want to go down a really steep hill, or you want to go down a hill that's not as steep. So which one is the steepest? A, B, or C? B was the steepest. This was the steepest. Which one is the least steep? C. So what do you notice about the rate of change and the steepness of the line? Okay? So the greater the slope is, the steeper the line will be. So if I have 3 lines, let's say line 1, line 2, and line 3, which one's gonna have the greatest slope? A, B, or C in my example? A. This is the steepest. This is the steepest line, right? Think about if you're going skiing. Would you want to go down line A or line B? I'm not good at skiing. I would want to go down line A. So we've learned how to calculate the rate of change or the slope. What is it? Slope equals rise over run. The rate of change is equal to the rise over run. And again, the rise is the vertical distance and the run is the horizontal distance. I'm just going to pick any 2 points on this line. So I'm trying to figure out what is the slope of that line. So I actually need to calculate the rise and the run. So we're going to pick any 2 points. Does it matter which points I pick? So because it's a straight line, we can pick any of the points because the slope remains the same all the way through the line. So I'm going to pick this point here and this point here. Those are the points that are indicated. And all we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle. That helps us, right? To figure out this would be the rise and this would be the run. Vertical is rise, horizontal is run. Now all you have to do is count. But what's important here is we have to look at the scale. Okay? So each square goes up by how many? What's the scale here? I'm counting by what? Look at the scale. It starts at 0, and then it goes up 2 spaces to 50, and then it goes up another 2 spaces to 50, and then another 2 spaces to 50. So what is the scale? What am I skip counting by? By 50. So if I go from here to here, 2 spaces, what is the rise? I went from here to here. I went down how many? 50. We wouldn't say 1, 2, because the scale is going down by 50. So the rise is going down by 50. Write this down somewhere. The rise is negative 50. Now look at the run. Everyone look here. From here to here, well, what is the scale for my x-axis? I'm going to cross by how many? 1, 2, 3. We're counting by ones. So if I jump 2 spaces, what does that represent? How many? What is the scale? I'm going to cross by how many? That's it. The run is 1. 2 spaces counts by 1. So what's the slope of this line? Simplify it. Slope equals, what's negative 50 divided by positive 1? Negative 50. Right? Okay, I'm going to pick another 2 points you're going to see. Do you think I'm going to get a different slope if I pick any other 2 points? No, so let's try this one and this one. So what's the first thing I should draw? The triangle? Okay, so we have to see how many spaces am I going down by. This is 50 and another 50. What's 50 plus 50? Okay, so I went down 100 over, what's the run? 1, 2. I counted 2 spaces. What's negative 100 divided by positive 2?
50.
Negative 50. Did I get the same answer?
Yes.
So the slope of that is negative 50.
Oh, okay.
So you want to start by drawing the triangle. It does not matter if I draw the triangle this way or if I draw the triangle this way. Both of them are showing a vertical distance and a horizontal distance. Okay? This is my rise and this is my run. So you have to count, but look at the scale. This represents a jump of how many? What does it count by? 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the rise is 7 over. Is this 1?
Yes.
No.
2.
from here to here is 1. You have to go all the way across. 1, 2. 7 over 2 is the answer. Okay, and then some of you are probably wondering, like, do I count up or down? Is it positive or negative? Write your numbers, write your rise and your run, and then figure out, does this represent a positive or negative slope? This line, it's rising to the right. So is it going to be positive or negative? Positive. So these are both positive. Okay? It's a positive slope. For question B, is it a positive or negative slope? So for this one, before you even write the slope, before you even calculate anything, we know the slope, the slope is going to be a negative answer. The rise over run, the slope's going to be negative because this line is going down to the right. So before you even put anything, just indicate that it's going to be a negative slope. Draw your triangle, rise, and run. Look at your scale. What are we counting by for the vertical? Is this 1? Does this represent 1?
Yes.
So it's going by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My rise is 6. Raise your hand if you got 6 for your rise. And we know there has to be negative in front of it because it's a negative slope. What's the run? 1, right? This is 1, 2,
3.
beautiful. So we're going to write this in lowest terms. What's a negative divided by a positive? Negative. It has to be a negative slope. What's 6 divided by 3? That's it. So the slope of this line is -2. We're trying to find the rate of change, which is the slope. The rate of change, and they tell you use profit to calculate the rise. What does the profit rise by every single time? 1,500. So we know that the slope is equal to rise over run. The rise is 1,500. They told you use the profit as the rise, because when you graph it, remember this would be X and this would be Y. Y values are the rise. And then what would be the run? What does it increase by? So 1,500 over 1. What's the slope of the line? What's 1,500 divided by 1? 1,500. That's it.